Welcome to episode number 1 of my Arkansas Razorback podcast. In this weekly podcast, you will be updated with the latest news revolving around University of Arkansas baseball, football, and basketball teams. Hello guys, this is episode number 1 of the podcast. It is 4/3/2016. Our first topic for today is going to be the Razorbacks have fully begun spring practice. They're in full pads as of now. I believe yesterday was the first day that they were in spring pads, the day that I'm filming this. And if you're an Arkansas fan, you're really kind of skeptical about this. Not skeptical, you're kind of afraid. Because it was the first fully padded practice that Jonathan Williams last year got injured in. And, it really didn't turn out too well for us since Alex Collins had to carry the bulk of the carries. And Cody Walker was really kind of a good secondary. He wasn't really a good secondary back just because of how slow he was laterally. He could truck people. He was good at the goal line, but just laterally, I don't think he has the speed to be an elite back for us. So I'm not hating against him. He's just not one of my favorite backs that have ever come through here. Brett Bielema is feeling very highly with the squad so far through spring practices. This is a direct quote. It says, as far as the offensive side, we're really trying to solidify the inside guys as well as the left tackle. We got a few new guys. A few guys left last year, so we got a few new guys in there. Some JUCO guys, some guys that transferred over from defense that are trying to make an impact on the offensive line. But, people are talking about how are we going to replace Denver Kirkland, Sebastian Tritola? How are we going to replace them? But I really don't see the big problem at all. Like Denver Kirkland, great offensive lineman. Sebastian Tritola, great offensive lineman. But I don't think they're irreplaceable linemen. We have a lot of good lineman recruits while Bielema has been here that are ready to take over. They're all sophomores. Most of them that are going to play. I guess we got a few juniors that transferred over from JUCO that could play for us. And, I think we're really solid on the offensive line. I don't know why everyone's freaking out about that. That's really not our biggest issue. I think our biggest issue is actually running back. Because as of now, we don't even know if Raleigh Williams is ready to go. Bielema keeps on saying he is ready to go, ready for hits. But he's not allowed to yet because he's still in recovery from the neck surgery he had last year. And so he would obviously be our top guy, I think. I don't know why Bielema said Cody Walker should be the number one guy. I don't know why that is. I think Cody Walker's a good goal line guy. I don't think he's our number one guy, though. I think Raleigh could really be our number one guy. He showed a lot of impressive skills last year before he got injured, and I was feeling very excited up until the injury. And if I were him, I would have never even went back on the football field because that is a very serious injury that he went through. But, I give it up to him. I love Arkansas football. Him stepping back on the field is a huge thing for us, and I respect him for it. Moving on to the next topic, who do I think Arkansas's quarterback will be next year? In my fully 100% opinion, I think it's going to be Austin Allen. Rafe Peavy is a close second for me because Dan Enos has said multiple times that Rafe Peavy might have the best arm on the team, but Austin Allen has the football smarts, the arm, the running capability, the athleticism. He has everything that you would want in a quarterback, and in my opinion, he could be just as good or better than Brandon Allen was right now. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the country, especially at the quarterback position, and I think he's going to go into SEC play. I think he's going to struggle a little bit in non-con. He's going to get used to the game feel, but whenever we go into SEC play, I think he's going to dominate just like Brandon did. He's going to open up the secondary so we can run the ball. He's going to make defensive coordinators stay on their heels the whole game, and I think he's going to be very successful at Arkansas, if not more successful than Brandon Allen was with his time here. Now, obviously, I don't think he's going to be breaking any of Brandon Allen's records just because Brandon was the starter for 3 years and Austin's only going to have 2 more years. I don't think he's going to be tremendously better to where he's going to break Brandon's records because that would just be ridiculous. He would have to throw 32 touchdowns a year or something like that to break the record. That would be insane if he did that, but I really do expect him to be a great game manager, a great third down quarterback, a great everything. I think he's going to manage our team very, very well, and I think we're going to win games with him. Now, pretty recently, Arkansas was labeled on Bleacher Report as being one of the most likely teams to regress in the 2016 season, and I think that is absolutely BS. I think if you actually know something about Arkansas football, you look at this roster, we're returning 9 players on defense, and I know our defense wasn't good or even okay last year, but we are also adding a few guys that are really going to impact. We got that JUCO transfer who at cornerback who is going to make an immediate impact. We have a Game from Hope, Arkansas, or Sosa, however you know him by. He's a 5-star defensive end recruit who I think he's going to make a huge impact in his freshman season. And then moving on to the offensive side, we have a lot of people to replace the people that we lost on the offensive line. And like I just said before, I think Austin Allen's going to be just as good or better than Brandon Allen. I think D.W.R. Whaley is going to be an absolute beast his freshman year. I don't think he needs any time to develop. Well, I take that back. He'll need some time to get used to the college feel and everything like that, just like Austin Allen will. But I think he's going to be a great running back. His freshman campaign, I think he's going to carry a weight of the loads. And I think he's going to have a great year overall. So what do I think about Arkansas being labeled as one of the most likely teams to regress? I think it's complete BS, and that's my only opinion that I have on it. I just gave you my reasons. We also have a huge home schedule that's going to be very beneficial to us winning games. If we can win those home games, it's going to be, it'll either make us or break us. If we're losing those home games, it's going to break us. If we're winning them, we're going to be a playoff contenders, and it's going to be a great season, I think. All right, for this last bit of the show, I'm going to kind of go over our schedule really quick. First game against Louisiana Tech, I think we're going to win that game. Next game at TCU, that's going to be a very close, nail-biting game, I think. I don't know how it's going to turn out because I don't know how good TCU is going to be. They lose their quarterback and one of their main receivers. Next game at Texas State here, I think that's an easy win. At Texas A&M, we're playing that in Arlington, Texas. We've taken them to overtime 2 years in a row. I think this year is the year that we are going to beat them. Game after that, Alcorn State at home. I think that's going to be a blowout as well. Game after that, Alabama at home. That is going to be another very, very close game. I don't know how good Alabama is going to be. They have the #1 recruiting class again for like 7 straight years, something like that. Going to be a very tough win if we do pull that one out. Going to be a tough loss if we don't. Game after that, Ole Miss at home. Another one. We've beaten them 2 years in a row. I think we're going to make it 3. And there's nothing they can do about it. I feel like we're going to run the ball down their throat. Austin's going to throw all over them, and we're going to win that game. Next game at Auburn. That's going to be a very tough one. They have a really good recruiting class, just like always. And if they get their quarterback situation figured out, they will have a very, very good year. Next game, Florida Gators at home. I think we're going to win that game. Florida is still climbing up just as we are, but I think we're going to pull it out in front of our home crowd. Next game, LSU at home. We're going to beat them for the 3rd straight year. It's going to be a great win. We're going to rejoice. We're not going to storm the field, hopefully, because, I don't like it when we storm that field. Next game, at Mississippi State. This is going to be a tough game. They have a very good quarterback that's going to replace Dak Prescott, and they also have a very good defense and offensive line. So it doesn't really matter who they have in the backfield. It's going to be a very good team. Next game at Missouri. Missouri is on the downhill trend, so I think we're going to win that game by a lot. Okay, guys, that is going to conclude the show. Make sure you follow the podcast or subscribe to it if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're not watching it on YouTube, I highly suggest you go check it out at Arkansas Sportscast YouTube. Just look that up on YouTube. You will find the channel. Make sure you subscribe to it. Thanks for coming out, guys. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next week with all new news.